Hello, what's up guys? My name is Aina Suraya. So today we're gonna play Silent Hill play novel as from the before that I played from POV of Cybil Bennet. So today we're gonna play as Harry Mason. So let's go. Harry. It's been a while since I have taken a vacation. I am driving my jeep, heading towards the quiet resort town of Silent Hill. The sound of engine reverberates in the darkness. Due to some slight car trouble earlier, it has become this late. He looks so insufferable. I am Harry Mason. I am a run-of-the-mill writer. That's Cheryl, right? Yeah. Her eyes closed. Cheryl sleeps peacefully in the passenger seat. Cheryl is my daughter. She is cheerful and lively, and the occasional carefree smiles she shows me makes me feel happy. I don't have very many relationships with people because of what I do for a living, so Cheryl's existence has become irreplaceable to me. Cheryl was very much looking forward to this trip. Although paved, this is still very much a mountain road. At this hour, there is little reason for any other drivers to be about. I push in the accelerator. There is no light off in the darkness. I can depend only on my headlights. Is that Cybil? Is it Cybil or Cybil? But I like to pronounce the name Cybil. Light reflects off the rear view mirror. It's a motorcycle. There is a motorcycle headed towards the same destination as we are at terrific speed at this late hour. We roar. The motorcycle effortlessly passes by the side of my jeep. The seal of the police. Perhaps there has been an accident or something? But I don't recall hearing about an accident or anything on the radio. Cheryl is sleeping. A child should not be awake at this hour. True. I wonder if she is dreaming about something. Tomorrow I have planned to take her to the amusement park. Maybe she is dreaming about riding the merry-go-round. I glance over at Cheryl's sleeping face and then return my eyes forward. The lighted area of the road almost appears to be blotched out from the darkness as it moves towards me. Huh? Something enters my field of view. It's the motorcycle from just before. It's lying on its side on the shoulder of the road. No doubt about it, it's the same motorcycle that just passed me. There is no sign of the driver. Rider, not driver, bro. Nah, I don't care. It looks like the driver smashed into the surface of the rocks by the side of the road while trying to avoid some kind of obstacle, and thus that part of the motorcycle has been destroyed. No, what happened? I carefully checked the way in which my vehicle is headed. However, I don't see anything that could be an obstacle to my advance in the area illuminated by the headlights. A strange atmosphere creeps in around me. The radio reception begins to become erratic. Perhaps I should turn back? But my foot persistently pushes down the accelerator with no intention of letting off. You can no longer turn back now. Something murmurs within me. Please increase your speed some more. Wait. Someone murmurs within me. Ooh. Cheryl's eyes are closed. She is dreaming. I know that I should be awake. But what is this uneasy feeling? I feel as if my body is not totally my own. It's like some strange being that is not me is controlling me, like I am floating. My eyelids are heavy. Is the steering wheel leaves my hand? It creates the illusion of setting the course on its own. Freezing cold. Uneasiness. Almost like being ready to fall asleep. I am just barely conscious and now at my limit to maintain even that. Okay, his expression is changing. Ah, wait, did I? Oh my god. When I saw the human figure on the road, I cut the wheel hard and then there was nowhere else for my jeep and I to go but down into the darkness below the cliff. Hmm. The silence pierced my ears. As the wind blew, it was accompanied by piercing cold. Where am I? I can feel light faintly passing through my eyelids. I don't seem to be hurt. That much is clear to me because I don't feel any pain in my body. Hmm. No, perhaps I suffered an injury that doesn't cause any pain. I slowly try opening my heavy eyelids. Did we just get into an accident or something? I don't know his lore because I never played Silent Hill. Like, I started to know a bit about the lore from the previous gameplay that I played as Cybil. Out of season snow is pouring into the town. Other than the sound of droplets of ice hitting the ground, there is nothing else to be heard. Silent Hill. That is what is assuredly written on the sign by the side of the road. Without realizing it, Cheryl and I have reached our destination. All my memories up to that point are gone. The wind is blowing in. When I take a look next to me, I am shocked. No Cheryl? Hmm. The passenger door has been left open. Cheryl is nowhere to be seen. Silent Hill. This town, which should just be a resort area, appears to have become just like a ghost town for some reason. Or maybe it was waiting for us to arrive, or perhaps the town just nestled up to us. So now I am alone. Cheryl is not here. While I was knocked out, Cheryl opened the passenger door and stepped out alone into this tourist spot that is ruled by an unsettling silence. And then she left me to head somewhere. Then what happened to your jeep? Yeah, we definitely got into an accident. I tightly closed my jacket around my neck and set off on foot in search of Cheryl. I wonder what in the world happened here. Nothing makes any sense. The silence, the out of season snow, and strangest of all, the entire town is wrapped in a thick fog. Should we think about Cheryl or should we is there no one in the town? I mean, my child is the first priority, so Harry's child, I'm playing as him. Cheryl's destination is I begin to run. Only the sounds of my footsteps echo in the surroundings. Just where in the world has Cheryl gone? Did someone lead her away? Various concerns ran through my mind. I suddenly get the feeling that I heard footsteps other than my own. So I start moving right away to check it out. Through the thick fog, I can see a figure that is about the size of a child. Cheryl? Without a thought, I cry out. The figure doesn't move at all. Huh? At the moment I begin to move slowly towards the figure, it starts to run. I, pierce, I fiercely chase after the figure. That's definitely Cheryl. Even though it is faint, I would not mistake someone else for Cheryl. However, no matter how much I run, I cannot catch up. Instead, the figure is gradually getting farther away from me. The figure puts on speed as if it is gliding through the air. The figure appears to be absorbed by the fog as it begins to disappear. In order not to lose it, I run with all my strength while keeping my vision centered on the figure. I then notice that I have come to an alley surrounded by buildings. Okay, the music stops. Ooh. I don't know how, but it is like a cover was placed over the sky, which had provided light until now, and the area has become engulfed in darkness. From the darkness, I can hear multiple footsteps coming this way. I don't know who it is. I will take a look, or I am going to get out of here. Let's take the risk. So, I don't know who it is. I will take a look. I stood ready. What are they? With beast-like rage, they have closed in to right where I am. What creature is that? Ah, and my vitality is sucked away by these strangely shaped monsters until I finally lose consciousness. Did I die? Huh? Cybil Bennet. Oh! She is a full-time police officer working in the neighboring town of Brams. There was no one else in the cafe other than her and Harry. Okay, who's POV now? Is it the narrator? She took a seat at the counter and waited for Harry to awaken. Ah, okay. I suddenly awoke. Where is this place? Where am I here? Why am I here? Was I brought here by someone? Ah, there is no boundary between dream and reality, just confusion. As I lay on the bench seat in the cafe, my eyes slowly begin to focus. The woman sitting at the counter stands and folds her arms. She walks over and looks down at me. Hi, Cybil. She is wearing a police uniform. The woman smiles a little bit as she appears to be relieved that I have regained consciousness. It looks like you have come around. Who are you? I try talking to the unfamiliar woman. I'm Cybil. Cybil Bennet. I'm here because of all the communication with this town suddenly went dead, and so I came to investigate. I'm Harry Mason. I brought my daughter to this town for some sightseeing. But on the way, there was an accident and I lost consciousness. Oh yeah, Cybil, you haven't seen a little girl in this town, have you? A little girl? No, I haven't seen her. When I came to after the accident, my daughter was nowhere to be seen. The passenger door was open and she was gone. Cheryl, my daughter's name is Cheryl. She is a timid person, so it is hard to imagine that she headed out into this weird town alone. Plus, I was there in the driver's seat. And since she gave me no warning, it just doesn't make sense. Are you familiar with this area? There is no sign of anyone, and what is going on with the snow at this time of year? Just what in the world has happened in this town? Yeah. Like damn. I said all of this while breathing deeply. I'm afraid I don't know either. I still haven't seen anyone other than you. It's like the town is as silent as a graveyard, left without even the means to contact any neighboring towns. I see. You also had an accident, right? I thought it was a good idea to head to the police station in this town alone on my motorcycle, but I guess I was going a little too fast. A girl suddenly jumped out into the road. I am pretty sure it was a girl. I almost hit her. I cut the handlebars hard in order to avoid her. After that, I can barely remember anything. When I came to, I was lying in the street in front of this cafe. So naturally, I came in here to get out of the snow. And then I found you sleeping there. I was having some kind of a terrible dream. As for if I made it here on my own, I don't remember at all. Just what in the world has happened in this town? What is going on with everything? Well, the situation is definitely strange. I will head back to Brams for reinforcements and then return here. How about you? Cybil stood and fixed her collar with resolute fortitude. I've got to look for Cheryl. There is no way I can just leave her here alone. Oh, so she gave me the gun. Yeah. I see. Well, I'll give you this then. You never know what might happen under these circumstances. If you feel threatened, then pull the trigger without hesitating. Thanks. I hope I don't have to use it. Or thank you. I'm no good with guns. I think I'm gonna choose B. Yeah. Thank you, but I'm no good with guns. I haven't even touched one. I can't handle it. Amazed, Cybil takes a deep breath. It's simple. I'll show you how to use it. See, first hold it in your right hand, then place your forefinger on the trigger. I reluctantly followed her instructions. Like this? Yes, now place your left hand on your right hand so that it doesn't move. Then all you have to do is like this, fix your aim and pull the trigger. Like this. The bullet grazes Cybil's cheek and penetrates the wall of the cafe. One of the pictures on the wall falls. Hey! You need to watch it! I'm sorry, I was just doing what you said and it just... No, it's not. And it just a few centimeters over and you would have been a murderer. I lost even more self-confidence. Well, it's alright. Please use it carefully. Well then, I'm going. The sound of the door closing reverberated woefully inside the cafe. Bye. After being left alone in the cafe, I gazed at this handgun Cybil gave me for a little while. And then I thought about Cheryl, who had disappeared in this town. The figure I saw in the fog. That was definitely Cheryl. But she didn't answer my calls and she was quite possibly moving away from me? I don't understand. I am getting a bit mixed up. Still, the one thing I know for sure is that Cheryl has vanished in this town. All I can do is look for her. I may not have any knowledge of the surrounding or any clues, but I won't find Cheryl if I stay here. I stood up energetically and placed my hand on the cafe door. Something is making noise, yeah. Is it inside or is it outside? Can I say outside? Yeah. Outside? I opened the door and hurried out into the street. The snow still continues to fall. I breathe in the cold outside air and it feels like waking up. The noise I just heard until now had stopped. Is the wind drowning it out? My question was soon answered. Oh, Through the glass, I can see that a radio has been placed on top of a table inside the cafe. Isn't that? I immediately went back inside the cafe. Oh, so red. The noise has stopped. Thinking that it may come in handy for something, I slide the portable radio into my pocket and once again walk toward the cafe's exit. After leaving the cafe, I decided to first head toward that alley from before. Ooh, what is that? Black figures fly about in the heavens as if searching for prey. I then come to realize a constant. The static on the radio changes based on their movements. Oh, the closer the monsters come to me, the louder the static gets. My side is hindered by the fog, and on top of that, the weather is so bad that snow is falling. So, this is extremely important information. I run through the snow that appears to have no intention of stopping. Increasing my speed each time the static comes in on the radio, I proceed into the fog. Following the thin thread of my memory, I finally arrive at the alley from before. The evil atmosphere has dissipated and light pours in along with snow from in between the buildings. I move into the alley and it dead ends after a bit. Yeah. What's that? At the end of the alley, I see a familiar sketchbook that appears to have been thrown away. The likeness of me that Cheryl drew is on the cover of the sketchbook. This is definitely Cheryl's. To school. I try opening it. Inside, the following is written in red ink: to school. Well, I read that before I read the thingy. Along Levin Street, I slip through the back door of a house that had a dog house and then head for the school. The surroundings gradually fill with darkness, and only the flashlight on my chest illuminates this strange street. I pass through the entrance to the elementary school grounds. When I open the door that leads into the school building, I see that even more darkness is waiting for me inside. It is possible that Cheryl scribbled those letters to school. I can't be sure whether Cheryl is here or not. It's just that I haven't a clue other than that sketchbook. A guide map of the school has been tacked to the side wall of the entrance with a rusted thumbtack. After removing the map from the wall, I place it in my pocket and push open the heavy door that leads into the interior of the school building. How convenient. My footsteps and the creaking of the hallway, they sound like screams as their reverberations rock my eardrums. I had been walking carefully step by step and without realizing it, I had begun to run. There is no sign of anyone. The silent innards of the school building are dark, and with only the flashlight on my chest, it is impossible for me to see any of the details. Cheryl doesn't have a flashlight, so if she came in here and got lost, then she probably wouldn't even be able to walk around. Since I have my flashlight turned on, she should be able to notice me easily. At least I have that modest hope. I then notice that I have come to the entrance to the music room. I place my hand on the heavy door. Dang. I remember from the first time I played this, I heard someone playing. But there's no one there. Dang. Playing the piano, I mean. When I open the door, I see that the inside of the room is large and there is a grand piano placed in its center. As I sit on the chair of the piano, I am shocked. The seat is still warm, as if someone had been sitting here just a few minutes before. Cheryl's smile runs through the back of my mind. Cheryl often played the cheap upright piano in our home. It had become nice background music when I was working. Perhaps Cheryl had come to the music room? There's blood. I gently opened the cover over the piano keys. I noticed that there is red mixed in among the black and white. I tried touching the liquid. It has a lukewarm feel. It is still holding heat. It is definitely blood. I said it, I called it. My heart pounds in my chest like an alarm bell. The large amount of blood spilled on the keys. If this is Cheryl's blood, then she may no longer be alive. I wiped the stain off my hands onto my jeans, stand and leave the music room. At the same time I closed the door, I thought I heard someone scream. Maybe it was just my imagination? I walked down the hallway. The sleety mixture of snow pounds hard against the windows facing the courtyard. I take a look through a window down at the dark courtyard. The not so large courtyard is dotted with areas in which withered plants are growing. In addition to that, an old clock tower is faintly visible. From here, I cannot determine what time from the clock is pointing to. Wait. Something appears to be wriggling about in the darkness. An animal? No, it's dark. I can't see so well, but it is slowly moving on two legs. This is creepy. The music suddenly stopped. It appears to be searching for prey. At that moment, the radio I had clipped to my chest suddenly began making noise. As I return my side to the hallway, a sharp pain runs through my thigh. Run! Run, Harry. When I look down, I see that the tips of those long claws are piercing my thigh. No, those oddly shaped monsters. They are posed like they want to hug me and have gathered around my waist. It could be Cheryl, but looking like that. They're about to bite me. Instantly pushed the monster away with my hands or readied the handgun and fired. The thing is, I'm afraid that this monster is actually someone, but I look at it like a monster, you know. Like my brain interprets this monster as monster, not as the person that it should be. So I'm gonna instantly push the monster with my hands, yeah. And it walks like a child, like an infant. So, yeah. With my right hand, I push on its head part with force and knock it away. It then totters and falls down on its face. That was when I noticed I had been completely surrounded by those monsters. I readied the gun. I fixed my aim on their heads and pulled the trigger with my trembling index finger. I continued to shoot as each one of them appears. The smoke from the gunpowder began to fill the air around me, so I placed one hand over my mouth. Blood? Even after the noise from the radio had stopped, I could only stand there, paralyzed in utter amazement among their corpses. Is Cheryl alright? She shouldn't have been carrying anything that could be used as a weapon. I begin running. Yes, I can't just stand around. There is not a moment to lose. Cheryl is waiting for me. Wait a minute. Suddenly my vision became hazy or something and I rubbed my eyes. When I look back, I see that all the bodies of the monster have unexpectedly vanished. What? Exactly. Was I hallucinating or something? I put the guide map out of my inner pocket and shined the flashlight on it. And then I confirmed that there is a boiler room located in the basement. My feet naturally began to take me there. Ooh. I descend the stairs to the basement, taking one step at a time. A school building without light. As I move forward, I am beset on all sides by absolute darkness. As I head towards new fear and new enemies, my feet have no intention of stopping their advance. But oddly enough, I don't have a sense of justice. I just want to make sure that Cheryl is safe, to catch her in my arms. That is my only goal. Oh, the boiler is not running. If I simply press the switch in front of me, then this eerie machine should begin operating. However, I just stand still. I try pushing the switch, but the boiler doesn't do anything at all. So I try opening the switchboard cover below the switch. It appears that I must somehow supply power from the main power supply to the boiler. The power supply is on the right. From the left of the switchboard, a thick pipe extends out and is connected to the boiler. So, a puzzle, is it? Uh, got it. I have an instinctive feeling that by pushing this switch that something outrageous may happen. Although at the same time, I also notice my daughter Cheryl's scream run through my heart like a sense of duty that makes me feel that I must push the switch. I slowly push the switch in. The entire school building shudders as if it were a giant ship. The entire elementary school building appears as if it has been swallowed by Cheryl's heart as she stands alone in the darkness. I understand that I must do something. To the courtyard. The darkness softly whispers to me. What is that? Oh, the clock tower. The clock tower looks to be about tall enough to reach the third floor of the school. At its base, there is a small door about big enough for an adult to enter while bent down. The door solemnly opens. After opening, the door seems to beckon the one standing in front of it to enter with an irresistible mental energy. I cannot resist that power. As I enter, the door closes with a hopeless thunder. So that's the thunder. Inside the clock tower, a physiologically loathsome stench hung in the air. However, the smile of my beloved daughter in my heart lessened my uneasiness and lets me forget my fear, if even for only a moment. Reassured, I placed my foot on the ladder leading underground with my greatest motive called love. The inside finally became a small passage about large enough for an adult. I ran. Trusting that I will see her smile ahead, I ran forward, stomping on concrete stained with the smell of death. Once I climbed the ladder at the end of the tunnel, there will be no going back. I muttered Cheryl's name one more time. Cheryl! The depressing sound of the door closing echoes throughout the courtyard. Where am I? A raw, warm breeze brushes past my cheeks. The view lets me know that this is like a completely different world from the school I was just in. Once again, I think, where am I? What's that emblem? I descend the small stairs leading away from the clock tower and become even more convinced. An extremely religious looking design has been drawn in the center of the courtyard. Within a large double circle, a triangle has been placed, and within that a strange pattern that looks like hieroglyphics is drawn. I don't remember this being here before, I mutter. This is definitely the school I was just in. The placement of the trees and the construction of the building. However, an overpowering feeling of nausea rises up throughout my body. A revolting, horrible smell, like that of the stench of cutting into rotten meat, thickly wafts throughout the air and is nearly visible to the eye. I begin to run. I can no longer bear to stay in this part. By the time I place my hand on the door that leads inside the school building, I no longer have the strength left to tell how long I was running. Maybe it was only for an instant. Okay. The school building has dramatically changed. Metal grated floors, blood covered walls, corpse like puppets hanging everywhere. It's like a nightmarish scene in which everything is isolated from the real world. In spite of that, I run. Yes, Harry, run. I am searching for Cheryl. Yes. The unpleasant metallic sounds of my footsteps resonate throughout the inside of the school. Is that telephone? And then I open the door to the teacher's room. Perhaps the door is not installed correctly, as it took me several forces tries to force it open. Once I enter the room, I am shocked. There's a strewn about and a raw rotten stench rules the room. I call the police to get help, or I call home when no one should be. I think call the police. With slight hope, I pick up the telephone receiver. Just as I had guessed, the depressing busy signal just repeats over and over. As I gently hang up the telephone receiver, I realize that all means for contacting the outside world have already been lost. I must find Cheryl right away and escape from this insane world with her. Yes. I begin to leave the room. My heart rapidly contracts. The mechanical bell sound echoes throughout the room. I nervously approach the telephone, and once again pick up the receiver. Daddy, help me! Oh, Cheryl. Where? It's Cheryl. There is no mistaking it. I firmly press the receiver against my ear. Daddy, where are you? Cheryl, is it Cheryl? At that moment, Cheryl's voice is replaced with a busy signal. I knew it, I think. Cheryl is here. Well, you brought her here. Being located in the residential area, many children probably come to this school. The interior of the elementary school is larger than I imagined. Including classrooms, there are a lot of rooms, so locating Cheryl will be extremely difficult. If Cheryl wasn't brought here by someone and instead came here of her own free will, then perhaps she might be in that one room. What, that one room? I spin around, run to the stairs at the end of the hall, and then sprint up them. I have come to the library and my eyes are drawn to the open book here. It was a children's book, a pharmaceutical book, a dictionary of religious science. Wait, what? Can I save here? Let's save. Save here. Yeah. A children's book? Well, I'm looking for my daughter, so should be a children's book. I pick up the book and see an abstract illustration of a youth carrying a bow and arrow on its cover. Someone has been reading this book. I begin to read the book from the beginning of the page. It was left open in a quiet voice. Hearing this, the hunter armed with bow and arrow said, "I will kill the lizard." But upon meeting his opponent, he held back, taunting. "Who is afraid of a reptile?" At this furious lizard hissed, "I'll swallow you up in a single bite." Then the huge creature attacked, jaws open wide. This was what the man wanted. Calmly drawing his bow, he shot into the lizard's gaping mouth. Effortlessly, the arrow flew, piercing the defenseless maw. and the lizard fell down dead. This is from an old fairy tale. I remember reading it as a kid. As I say this, take a step back as if I have realized something. Wait, I think. I become great with the sense that my actions have been controlled by someone this entire time. Well, me. Coming to the library, seeing that specific page in the open book. Even whatever it is that I must do now, it is a decision that is out of my hands. Wait, my cat. Masuk. Let's continue. Everything that has happened has been in someone's hands. I have gradually come to understand this. Even still, I probably cannot determine my own course. I accept the direction of the unseen one to whom I must obey. In order to find Cheryl, there is no other alternative. I now know where it is I need to go. As I journey there, I walk firmly, stepping forward one step at a time. I descend a staircase from which uncomfortably warm air flows and find an elevator at its base that invites me to descend even further as its doors slowly open. Once I enter, its doors close, and in the next moment, with a rusty clunk sound, the elevator begins to descend at a high rate of speed. Just how far down is it going? All I can do is go with the flow. Gradually, the elevator and I are enveloped in hot, humid air. The elevator stops and I step off as its doors open. Beyond a short passage, a dazzling light emitted from a small room which has been waiting for my arrival. What the hell is that? In the center, wait, is that a lizard? In the center, the fires of hell burned and everything made it look like this room was meant for prayer. And then it was there. It slowly moved around the enormous cones from which flames and ash rose. The lizard looks to have suddenly mutated. Its outer shell is a mucus membrane type. It just stares at me, and with surprisingly comfortable speed, it looks for a chance to attack. Here, running is the best bet, or I fired the gun at its large body. I'm afraid if I fired the gun at its large body, it doesn't affect them. So I'm gonna run. I was overwhelmed by its size. I've got to escape. I don't stand a chance with the feeble weapon in my pocket. I look for an escape route. However, the entrance I came through is now closed by a thick, solid metal fence without any opening which I could slide through. I cannot escape. At that moment, a part of my memory was suddenly awakened. Definitely. Is it in the library or the teacher's room? The teacher's room, I remember that my child is calling me. In the library, I remembered about the lizard story, so... In the library? I remember. That book I just picked up not too long ago. Its content ran about in my head. While paying very close attention to the movement of my opponent, I recall its passages. Effortlessly, the arrow flew, piercing the defenseless maw, and the lizard fell down dead. All I can do is draw my opponent closer. Each bullet that hits its body only seems to increase its strength. You see? I am running. My entire body is soaked in sweat. The heat from the flames and the large amount of perspiration are working together to rob me of my emotional strength. And then my feet finally get tangled and I fall to the bone-dry door with a thud. What is that? My supply of bullets is running out. This is my limit. I turn around. Its enormous mouth is there, measuring about 4 meters and open in all directions. It was only for an instant, but I thought of that passage again. The arrow flew, piercing the defenseless maw. But where can I find an arrow? Okay. Fire into his mouth. Yes. Does that affect anything? I can no longer hesitate. I readied the gun as calmly as possible, aimed at the inside of its mouth and quickly pulled the trigger. Over and over, the sound of gunshots rang out from my weapon for as long as I had ammunition. And then I lost consciousness. I died? Oh, I'm not. When I came to, I found myself in the middle of a dark room. Where is this? I wondered to myself. The monsters from before has vanished. Oh, I did the right thing? I heavily stood up and then waited motionless for a bit until my eyes came into focus. Somehow, this looks to be the boiler room. It is oddly quiet. Maybe I was dreaming? My very exhausted body seems to have also recovered somehow. The low hum of the boiler strangely calms my nerves. And then I sense the presence of a person and I shift my gaze. Who that? That's definitely not Cheryl or Cybil. There was a girl standing there. She was wearing dark blue clothing and her light brown hair was neatly combed. The girl was just staring right at me. Once I noticed her and began to step towards her, she completely disappeared, as if her body just dissolved into the air in the room. I was alone in the room again. Is it a spirit or something? What was that? After standing for a bit, I let out a long breath and then placed my hand on the door at the entrance. Sunlight is shining into the hall of the school building. As usual, the snow is still outside, but I am gripped with a strange feeling of relief, as if cancerous cells had just been removed from me. Filled with relief, I slowly walked toward the exit of the school building. And then I learned that Cheryl is not here, from the loud sound of the church bells that seemed to call out to me. I begin to run toward the church on a road half covered in mud. Snow falls above my head, some of which freezes my hair as chilly air flows by. When I reach the church, I push open the heavy door without hesitation. I forgot her name. I've met her as Cybil before. A cross is mounted on the front wall. Long benches are lined up on the both sides of a small walkway. It was as if time had stopped for this unfamiliar style church. In front of the altar, a sly-looking woman with cold eyes looks down at me with an eerie grin. As I walk up to her, stepping one step at a time, she gazed at me without blinking. She looked as if she had predicted that I would arrive. "Were you ringing that bell?" The woman snorted with a hum. "I've been expecting you." It was followed by gyromancy? What's gyromancy? What are you talking about? Yeah. I knew you would come. You want the girl, right? The girl? Are you talking about Cheryl? My eyes grew wide. I see everything. You know something? Tell me. Stay back. The woman held the palm of her hand out at me and then lowered her chin in a way that suggested, please calm down. Nothing is to be gained by floundering about at random. You must follow the path of the hermit concealed by Florus. What? What are you talking about? I asked once more without hiding my bewilderment. Here, the Flauros, a cage of peace. It can break through the walls of darkness and counteract the wrath of the underworld. This will help you. Make haste to the hospital before it's too late. The woman held up a strange object and then softly placed on the desk on top of the altar. Wait, don't go yet. The story was unclear and I don't understand it. You think I understand it? Yeah, no. I cannot just carelessly believe her or believe that woman's story. Well, she's been expecting me, so I'm going to believe her. She lives here. I choose to believe her story without objection. All that remains in the church is the reverberations of the sound of a door closing. I go after that woman. I am convinced that that woman definitely knows some secret of some sort. However, the knob on the door that she went through will not turn at all. It must be locked from the other side. Damn. Now I am the only one left in the church. Almost as if taken from a nightmare, this space has heat. This warmth, it feels like it is protecting me from something. That is the best way to describe the heat. I move away from the door and begin walking to the altar that woman was at. The object that the woman was just holding has been placed there. Ooh, triangle. Pyramid. Reminds me of a pyramid head from the second game. The Flauros. That is certainly what that woman had called this. I tried picking it up. And then I place it back on top of the desk right away. It is power. The overwhelming power of the gods rests inside this four-sided object. It was a sensation like an electrical current passing into the palm of my hand. And then power moving throughout every nook and cranny in my body. I pick it up once more. This time I calmly take it into my hand and then place it in my pocket. For some reason, I am convinced that this object will help me find Cheryl. Ooh. I pick up the key that was next to the florist, open the door of the church, and rush out into the heatless snow world again. Hospital? That woman certainly said something about that one. Alchemia Hospital. The only hospital I could find on the map was that one. I could see my breath as I exhaled while I headed toward the entertainment district. The bridge to the entertainment district has been raised so that boats can pass by it in the river below. In other words, it is split in the middle and is fixed in a raised position that makes it look like the Japanese katakana character. I enter the nearby drawbridge control room, place the key I was holding into the control panel, and forcefully turn it to the right. While emitting a sound like an old woman laughing, the bridge finally begins to lower, inviting me to the entertainment district. After crossing the bridge, I shudder. The temperature is gradually declining. Or maybe it's just the result of the thing inside me that produces nervousness and fear. In this wide road, there is not a single motorcycle running. I am running right down the center of it. If I continue forward, Alchemia Hospital should be on the right. An old building appears in the thick fog. On the On the signboard, Alchemy Love appears in faded letters. Its eeriness caused me to hesitate for an instant, but in the next moment, I placed my hand on the cold gate. I opened the heavy hospital gate, then opened the door directly to my right that has entrance written on it. The inside of the hospital is wrapped in silence. To the left, there is a reception area in which various papers are neatly placed on a shelf. Waiting benches are lined up along the back of this hall, and television is pointed at them. I do not feel the presence of any patients or even any people. Only faint light pours in through the windows from the cloudy sky. The hall is filled with a trace scent of alcohol, which penetrates my nose. I begin walking. After passing through the waiting room, I reach a long corridor. I open the door marked examination room. Wait, who is that? At almost the exact same time as I open the door, a man inside jumped up out of his chair. He is holding a handgun in his right hand. That kinda looks like me. Or is it me? I hide behind the door in a panic or immediately counter-attack with my gun. Well, I have a gun, so counter-attack. I instantly ready my gun. That plump man appeared to realize that I was a human, but as soon as he saw the gun, his eyes grew wide. Hold it, stop. Don't shoot, wait, I'm not here to fight. After I lowered my gun, the man sat down in his chair in a way that showed that he was relieved. Thank God, another human being. The man nodded. I was truly relieved. Silent Hill, which has become a habitat for strange monsters. This is my first contact with someone from this town. How dare you call him plump? He's just very healthy. I'm Dr. Michael Kaufman. I work at this hospital. So maybe you can tell me what's going on? That man who called himself Kaufman once again stirs in the chair he is sitting in. I really can't say. I was taking a nap in the staff room. When I woke up, it was like this. Everyone seems to have disappeared. And it's snowing out this time of year. What's that? He looks off at the floor of the examination room. There on the floor, the corpse of a still warm monster lay on its side. Something's gone seriously wrong. Did you see these monsters? Have you ever seen such aberrations? Ever even heard of such things? You and I both know creatures like that don't exist. Yeah. And then I turned to face him as I realized something. Have you seen a little girl anywhere? I'm looking for my daughter. She's only 7, short black hair. She's missing? I'm sorry. With all those monsters around, I highly doubt that she's... Sorry, I didn't mean to alarm you. Your wife, she's here with you? She died 4 years ago. Now it's just me and my daughter. I see. I'm sorry. Well, I better be going. I can't just sit around here doing nothing. So long. Good luck out there. Bye, Dr. Kaufman. Is it Michael Kaufman? Yeah. The examination room doors shuts powerlessly. Dr. Michael Kaufman. Oddly enough, I have completely memorized that name. Huh? I suddenly noticed that there is something on the floor that looks like a white scrap of paper. What is this? I pick it up. Letters have been disorderly scribbled on it. Arrival tomorrow morning, be prepared. What is this? Check to see if there is anything else or go after Kaufman. I want to see if there is anything else. I carefully I carefully look around on the floor, but it doesn't appear that anything else interesting has been dropped. I look all around the examination room. Up until a short time ago, this was just a normal room in a hospital with its various instruments and tools all about, each aptly arranged per function. Only people have been erased from this normalcy, making the situation unnatural. I leave the examination room. I pass through the medicine room and reach a plank floor corridor that silently extends in an L shape. I moved forward and found that there was an elevator with a large door at the end of the corridor. I try pressing the buttons beside it. Nothing happens. It looks like the power is off. There are several doors in the corridor. I begin opening each one in order. I open the door marked meeting room, head inside and close the door behind me. A large table rests in the center of this room and I notice there is something glittering on top of it. I grasp the light green key, leave the room, and once again step into the chilly corridor. The next room looks to be the kitchen. I guess that the food for patients is probably prepared here. Various bronze cooking utensils are neatly arranged in order on the stainless steel countertop. It does not appear that anything terribly important here is here. I carefully look through the various cooking utensils. Inside a large pot there is nothing at all. While continuing to search it to see if there might be some clue here or not, I notice that on the far wall various objects have been scattered about. I carefully move forward on the wet floor as not to slip. Something is here. I reach out my hand towards the thing in front of me. Ooh, plastic bottle or kitchen knife? Does that make any difference? Plastic bottle? I move past one of the sinks and notice an empty plastic bottle sitting on the end of the counter. Perhaps this might come in handy for something. I should grab the kitchen knife, but it's okay. I mutter this and grab the empty plastic bottle. Then I leave the kitchen. After leaving the kitchen, I head right and place my hand on the first door that I come to. I notice the words director's office out of the corner of my eye as I open the door. From inside the room, a strong stench overflows outward and causes me to feel dizzy. Ooh, someone has ransacked the room. Behind the desk that probably belongs to the director, several bottles have been broken, leaving red and blue liquid spilled all over the floor. If I use the plastic bottle, scoop up the red liquid, scoop up the blue liquid, scoop up the mixture of purple liquid. Probably a mixture because I don't know, red liquid is forward, blue is forward, so purple. I get out the plastic bottle and use a fragment of the bottom section of one of the broken bottles to pour the purple liquid into it. The sticky liquid drips into the plastic bottle. The last drop lingered, but once it finally hit the surface of the liquid, already inside the plastic bottle, I tightly closed the cap and then left the director's office. Bye. I crept out into the corridor once more and stood in front of the door that was closest to the elevator. I opened the door and the reverberations of the sounds of it opening and then closing shake my eardrums. The walls are made of concrete, and a few steps in the staircase leading to the basement extends like the folds inside the body of a snake. It is dark and difficult to see, but it looks like there is a door at the bottom of the staircase. Be brave, I muttered to myself. Leaving only the echoes of my footsteps, I descend the staircase to hell one step at a time. And then I opened the door leading to darkness. A world without light. I could see that the electricity was most likely out in the entire hospital. I pressed the switch on the flashlight on my chest and tried lighting the area. It is creepy, and yet there is nothing noticeably out of place. Chilly air drifts from the cold concrete, and it seems like as if touching it would completely rob my body of its warmth. While moving through the corridor, I try opening the doors as I come to them. Of them, one opens with a creak. Emergency generator is written on the machine that occupies most of the room. To reach the second floor and above it did not look like there was any method other than using the elevator. So without hesitation, I turned the machine open. Ooh. I immediately head for the elevator. I press the up button. The heavy sound of the motor and the sounds of metal parts coming into contact with each other almost sound like intertwined screams. With a ding, the elevator stops and its doors slowly open. The inside of the elevator is large. It seems to be about big enough to accept 3 hospital beds. Buttons for each floor are lined up to the right of the elevator door. They are marked 3, 2, 1 and B from the top down. First I head to the second floor. However, after I step off the elevator, I find that the door connected to the corridor that leads to the room on this floor is locked. With no alternative, I try heading to the third floor, but I find that it is in the same state. Well, what now? I have already tried moving to every floor. With nothing else to do, I re-entered the elevator and then could not believe my eyes. There's the 4th floor, Of the buttons for each floor, 3 was definitely the highest floor just before. In spite of that, a new 4th button has been added. Sorry guys, I cannot read. The elevator doors open with a familiar sound and I step out onto the 4th floor. Again, I think. A condition extremely similar to that which I encountered after passing through the basement in the clock tower at the elementary school was present right in front of me. Dark red rusted walls, metal grated floors, and a ringing in my ears that seems to creep up from the depths of hell is a menace to my mental state. I open the door in front of me and a long corridor extends beyond it. I very carefully move forward while keeping my eyes fixed on the wall. Could Cheryl be here? The only way to find out is to search this place. I can hear something in the darkness in front of me. It sounds like the groan of something dragging on the ground. The owner of that groan is slowly closing in on me, but I cannot see what it is for sure with the faint light of my flashlight. I instantly... Should I leave the area or should I ready my gun? But I need to search the area, so ready my gun. It is probably not human. I firmly grip the gun, position my finger on the trigger and begin to walk towards it with the gun ready beside my face. Eventually something white enters my field of vision. I adjust the aim of the flashlight on my chest with my hand and shine light on it. A white figure appeared which is stooped over like an old woman. It looked to have undergone a grotesque change. Yee. The monster has a very large hump on its back which twitches and moves as if it were alive. In one hand it holds a knife which is waved as it approaches me. In the instant I readied my gun, the monster began to run. By the time I realized it slashed at me. I instantly dodged the attack, and thanks to that, my clothes were slashed and I had only a scratch on my side. I suppose I was lucky. Damn! I kick it in the face with the bottom of my shoe and it falls down on its back. It then begins to stand for its next attack. I close my left eye and steady my aim. Even after one shot hit, its movement does not change at all. I fire more bullets at it. It is laughing. In a voice great enough to shake the entire world, it laughs as its face twists and distorts. I cannot give up. When the final bullet loaded into my gun hits, it finally stops laughing. This time it is face down and I begin crushing it with my foot. Finally it completely stopped moving. This is insane. Another monster approaches from behind the corpse of the first one. At this rate, all the bullets in the world would not be enough. All I can do is run. Run past the monster behind me or run past the monster in front of me. In front of me. I begin to run towards the monster in front of me. Evading the last swings of its knife, I run down the dark corridor, occasionally stumbling. I see a staircase leading down. I race down it, knowing not whether if something is waiting for me or not at its base. Yay, finally. I am thinking about Cheryl. Even if she is held prisoner somewhere in this hospital, there is no guarantee that I can rescue her. In fact, there is no reason that the staircase I am descending should lead me to Cheryl. I begin to think that all of my current actions are all meaningless. Well, Harry, I don't know. However, generally speaking, since I arrived in Silent Hill, no, since the day before leaving for Silent Hill, no, even longer ago, since the day I met Cheryl, perhaps I have had no choice in my actions, that they have been determined by someone's will. As I continue to the base of the stairs, I contemplate, what if my life, up to this point, had just been on one track? As I descend the stairs, my ears began ringing again. The ringing is so forceful that it cannot even be compared to before, and it forces me to squat down. What in the world has happened? Perhaps I have opened a door to hell, a door that should never be opened. Something is clearly changing, and it is for the worse. Going back will not be permitted. I must move forward. Forward. I put my hands together on my head and then squeeze my temples tightly by using my elbows. The ringing then begins to sound like a demon is whispering in my ears, however, it doesn't stop. I blindly begin to run. Even if I am to die in this mad land, I must save my beloved Cheryl first. Believing that the answers are beyond the door, I know that I must discover at least one clue. Several overlapping square figures are shaking in time with the sound of my heart. It is the wall at the end of the area. Another wall is lying perpendicular to it. There is a door present on this wall with a plate on it that says storehouse. Some chemicals have been placed on the table that is next to the door. There are 3 beakers of different sizes and a test tube. The test tube contains a liquid that is of a different color to that which is in the leftmost beaker. I found a memo. To create it, you must come up with 1 deciliter of liquid and pour it into the test tube. No more or no less, that man had said. But there are no graduations on the beakers. This makes it impossible to come up with 1 deciliter using these 3 large beakers. Using 10 deciliter, 7 deciliter and 5 deciliter beakers, you must create an amount of exactly 1 deciliters. The door won't budge an inch. Okay. Oh, I am pouring things. Liquid. Got it. Oh, 77251. Oh, 1 in the 1 deciliter. 10 deciliter beakers. Harry melted the chain on the door. The chain on the door with the completed liquid. The door slowly opens with a click. Inside the storehouse, nothing important looking stands out. I carefully edge between the simple metal shelves that have been placed here in a specific arrangement. However, nothing is here that makes this room worthy of being called a storehouse. I am drawn toward the cabinet in the back of this room. This is because I found the presence of the wooden cabinet strange and unsuitable for this simple room. I approach the cabinet and try to open it. However, it will not budge. Well, look at the floor under the cabinet, look inside of the cabinet, on top of the cabinet. Okay. Can I look inside of the cabinet? Putting force into my face, I pounded the cabinet's small wooden doors until they broke. Inside there is nothing of particular value. At that time, I noticed I could feel cold air coming from behind the cabinet. And at the same time, I also noticed marks that looked like they had been left from dragging something on the floor. The marks on the floor are still fresh. They tell me that some other human probably came down here. Is there something beyond this cabinet? Using my body weight, I slowly pushed the cabinet from its original position. The existence of the inviting door behind the cabinet seems completely natural. So of course, I placed my hand on it. The room is very inorganic. While shining my flashlight about, I moved through the room and eventually discovered a grate in the floor. From between the bars in the grate, I can see a staircase that leads to a lower floor. The grate makes a clunk sound as I open it. It is quite heavy. Even though I am sure of my strength, I do not believe that I could pick it up. After opening the grate enough so that I can pass through it, I gently place one foot on the staircase that has appeared. Slowly and cautiously, confirming each step as I go, I descend the staircase to a mad place in which light cannot reach. Finally, I reach a wide room, much wider than I imagined. I guess this based on the echoes of my footsteps. I am running through this eerie space that lies in the basement of the hospital. It is lifeless and there is no light. All I can do is run through it. Does this world have an end? Or did it even have a beginning? Everywhere I go, all that I do is solve the mysteries that appear one after the other and then move on. I understand this and expect the same situation will continue. Still, all I can do is move forward. My thinking always results in this conclusion. Ooh, what is this room? This door has awaited me. I slowly turn the knob. The inside of this room is different from the ones that I have encountered up to this point, and I can feel life in here. There are traces and a sense that someone was in this room. Who that? That's the same girl that we met before, I think. I softly picked up the picture frame that was displayed on the desk. Elisa? Who's Elisa? That is engraved on the picture frame. I gaze at the picture. It is a face that I think I have seen somewhere. Yes, you did. I try to remember where as hard as I can, but in the end I cannot remember at all. But I am sure that I have met this girl somewhere. And more than just once. What? A diary has been placed next to the picture frame. I reach out with my hand. Diary. Always the diary first. Something is written in the diary. April 15. From today, this will be my new diary. Lisa secretly gave this to me as a present. And it means that soon I should be able to take my bandages off. A bird landed on the branch of the tree outside my window. I gazed at it for a bit. Seeing those beautiful colors, I thought again that it must be spring. I wish I could play outside like the other children. Aww. It is now afternoon and they have come again. I pretended to be asleep and it looks like they did not notice. They talk quietly as not to be heard outside my room. I do not understand the meaning of what they discuss. They never talk in this room, I thought. April 16. Someone is talking outside my room. It sounds serious. But it doesn't seem to be about me. Perhaps it's because he doesn't want to disturb me. Even the hospital director has not come to see me much lately. I don't like the director very much, so I am honestly quite happy. Oh, April 16 PS. By some strange chance, I learned a certain person is coming to visit me. April 17. Everyone has been in a rush for some reason since before sunrise this morning. Something about the dead person coming back to life. Does that really happen? It is a frightening story. And because of that, my meal was a little late. The cold soup is disappointing. Suddenly I remembered him. Maybe he has forgotten me, but I definitely remember him. Lately, I think of him often. I want to see him. It looks like my visitor is coming in the evening on the day after tomorrow. Before then just once. April 18. It is finally tomorrow. I will not tell anyone about this. If I tell anyone, they will probably strap me to my bed. Before they arrive, the friend that can share my feelings, the only one. I wonder if she will realize this. Tonight I will go to bed early. April 19. I must get out of here. For the first time in a while, I wore my favorite pendant. Does it look good on me? I will write about the results here tomorrow. April 20. The last page is blank. I place the diary under my arm and prepare to leave the room. However, my eyes once again return to the picture frame that the diary had been placed next to. Is she a patient in that hospital? She was all alone. But I have Cheryl. The girl in the picture is appealing to me for something. In the painful silence, I can feel a spiritual message. After wavering, I removed the picture from the frame and slid it into my pocket. And then I left the room. Ooh. Like, who is she? Elisa? Just who is she? Confirm. I wrote this game, I'm sorry. And why was her picture on display in the deep basement of the hospital? And where was that strange feeling of alive that I sensed in that room coming from? From her. She's in the spirit. I am unable to figure any of it out. And so I am irritated. I head for the examination room on the first floor. All the mysteries of the hospital are surely prepared in that room. Believing so, I race up the stairs while having difficulty breathing. When I open the door to the examination room, I feel the presence of a person and stop moving. The inside of the room is dark. Someone is here. Who is it? Slowly approach. Wait, a nurse? Once the woman realized that I was a human, she ran towards me and threw her arms around me like a child would. Finally, someone else who's okay. After mumbling those words in a tearful voice, she held me more tightly. Who are you? My name's Lisa Garland. Oh, I remember Lisa Garland. I know. I don't know her story, but I know her character. Okay, I remember her face now. What's yours? Harry Mason. After we exchanged our simple introductions, I sat in a chair and she sat on the bed so that we were facing each other. The woman that called herself Lisa had blonde hair and an intelligent look to her. Maybe she might know something. At that moment, I was about to speak. The woman began talking. Harry, tell me what's happening here. Where is everybody? I must have gotten knocked out. When I came to, everyone was gone. Her voice did not feel like it was coming from her body and was accompanied by a strange reverberation. It's awful. So you don't know anything either? Great. I just don't get it. It's like this is all some kind of a bad dream. As I select my words, I have a feeling that even my own words are not coming from my body. Yeah, a living nightmare. Let me ask you, have you seen a little girl around here? Short, black hair, 7 years old. I muttered Cheryl in a voice that Lisa would not hear. A 7-year-old girl? What, she's your daughter? Yes. A 7-year-old girl. I can't say that I have. I was unconscious all this time. I'm sorry. That's alright. That was just as I expected, but I continued asking questions without showing my disappointment. Do you know anything about all that weird stuff in the basement? No, why? Is there something down there? You don't know? Don't you work here? We're under strict orders never to enter the basement storeroom. After changing the subject to the hospital basement, I began to notice that my thoughts were becoming muddy. So I really don't know. What did you say it was down there? Well, I tried as hard as I can remember the pitiful sight of that room in the basement. However, in trying to trace my memory back to then, that ringing, which had been gone for a while, returned to my ears. Tinnitus. A sound like the bells of that church ran throughout my head. Damn, my head. What's wrong, Harry? Harry, let me help you. Harry. Okay, now am I a patient? After a while, I noticed that my body is freezing cold. It is as if I am dead, but I am clearly conscious. Where is Lisa? I was definitely talking to her in this examination room. I no longer feel the evil presence that I felt in this room, nor in this entire hospital up until just before. From the window, soft light is pouring into the room. Was I dreaming? As I slowly get up, I hear the sound of a door opening. I instantly look toward the source of the sound. The creepy woman I met at the church was standing there with an expressionless look on her face. You were too late. It's you. Yes, Dahlia. Dahlia Gillespie or Dahlia Gillespie, I don't know. Tell me everything you know. What's going on? Darkness. She responded before I was even done speaking. The town is being devoured by darkness. The woman continues while maintaining a devout look. Strength must overcome petty desire. Childish sleep talk. I knew this day would come. What are you talking about? I don't understand a word of this. Believe the evidence of your eyes. So I should believe the evidence of my eyes. I understand. I am in a situation in which I can only believe what I have seen with my own eyes. The other church in this town, that is your destination. This is beyond my abilities. Only you can stop it now. Have you not seen the crest mark on the ground all over town? So that's what I saw in the schoolyard. What does it mean? It is the mark of a Samael. Don't let it be completed. Hey, wait! If I'm not mistaken, Samael is a demon, right? Dahlia Gillespie. She places an oddly shaped key on an examination table with a tap, spins around, heads to the door, and then opens it. I open the door that she closed and roll out into the hospital corridor. But she is nowhere to be seen. The other church. But if I exclude the church I already visited, I do not see anything that looks like a church on the map. I slowly open the phone book attached to the payphone in the corridor. In there, a mark is present to guide me. It is next to the phone number for an antique shop in the northeast area of the shopping district. Oh. The door to the antique shop is ominously open. The open door connects to a staircase leading down to the basement. At the end of the stairs, there is another door. I insert the key I was carrying and slowly turn it. The inside of the shop is small. I take a look around with my flashlight and find that the place is such a mess, and that it looks almost as if it has been ransacked by a thief. Is something here? At first glance, I don't think that there is anything here that concerns me. However, I did not miss that which was hidden behind a shelf. I move the shelf step by step, an eerie passage leading into darkness appears. What's this? Harry! I look back toward the familiar voice. Cybil? Cybil, who should have left for the next town over to call for backup, was there. I'm glad you're okay. I shouldn't have left you. Things are worse than I thought. It's nuts. What are you doing here? I thought you left town. I saw you go in here, so I followed you. I couldn't get out. All the roads out of town are blocked. Cars have completely stopped running. The phones and radios are still out too. What about my daughter? Did you see her? I did see a girl. My heart began to beat faster. Was it Cheryl? I only caught a glimpse of her through the fog. I went after her, but she vanished. I don't know about your daughter, but... And you just let her go? Where was it? On Bachman Road. Bachman? It's Bach, right? Yeah. Bachman Road. She was heading towards the lake. Now don't get excited. It wasn't like she ran off exactly. There was no place for her to go. The road has been obliterated. What? So then Cheryl... It was like she was walking on thin air. Ooh. An uncomfortable silence occurs between the two of us. What about you? Anything? Yeah. I met this bizarre woman. Her name's Dahlia. Her name's Dahlia Gillespie. Gillespie. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Do you know her? Dahlia Gillespie. No. And? She said something about the town being devoured by darkness. Gibberish like that. Any idea what it means? Darkness devouring the town? Must be on drugs. They sell them to the tourists. The force still can't figure out who's behind it. None of our leads have panned out, and the investigation is stopped. Drugs? Cybil's response was far from what I had imagined, so I shake my head back and forth. What could drug trafficking have to do with all of this? I really don't know. But maybe that's the darkness she was talking about. That's all I can think of. Cybil looked slightly irritated and took a long breath. Then she shifted her gaze to the passage behind the shelf. Ooh. Ominous looking. What's this? Just discovered it. Maybe there's something back there? Let's have a look. Cybil. I will go first. I'm a gentleman. Wait, we don't know what's back there. I better check it out first. I'm a cop, I should go. No, I'm going, I said in a rough tone. Alright, I'll cover you from here. Be careful. If anything looks fishy, get back here on the double. Okay. I peered inside the hidden passage. Inside, it looks like an unseen barrier of darkness has been set up, which makes it look like a place no one should enter. I intuitively sensed that it would be dangerous to move into this passage. It is that kind of passage. I looked back at Cybil once. Cybil, yes? Do you know anything about where, like, some other world is like some kind of a bad dream? What are you talking about? I'm not quite sure. I try to make sense of it, but then my mind goes blank. Everything's dark there, and I hear sirens in the distance. I met this nurse, Lisa. It's like I was there, but not really. It's all a blur. Like some kind of hallucination, you know. I have no idea what you're talking about, Harry. Cybil spoke while shaking her head from side to side. Oh, I was just wondering. Never mind. Harry, you're tired. Yeah, maybe. Am I tired? Yes, I am tired. If that is all it is, then that is fine. If my being tired is what caused me to see all the hallucinations up to this point, then Cheryl should return to me. The only thing is the sensation I am feeling is not that of being tired. Rather, my body feels as if I have been on the floor sleeping continuously like a human in cold sleep. And I am feeling the agonizing suffering of not easily being able to escape from that state. Whoa, okay. Leaving Cybil behind, I stepped into the passage. I began walking carefully, taking one step at a time. Cybil can probably no longer see me from where she is, even if I could see her from where I am. Is this the church? I made my way into the room at the end of the passage. It is small, and the smell of something having been burned is in the air. Yeah, it looks like an altar. Once I saw an altar appear in the darkness, I realized that this is the church that Dahlia was talking about. I look around the area. An axe have been displayed on the wall, but nothing else stands out. While shaking my head, I decided to try going back to the passage I came from. And at that moment, a light bright enough to make me look away emanates from the altar. I think I heard the sound of a giant match being struck, and then two enormous pillars of flame rose from the altar, as if a ritual were beginning or something. Even at the distance I am at, I can feel the heat from those flames. My surprise and that heat caused me to fall into a state of barely being conscious. And then I gradually lose myself until I finally end up lying face down on the concrete floor. And the coldness that remained in the floor was drawn away by the heat as my consciousness grew distant. Is it Harry? Are you okay? Harry? Harry? Where am I? Harry? Lisa. Then I am in the hospital. You were having a bad dream. Was I? Hey, you don't look too good. Are you okay? I'm fine. Nothing you need to worry about. Well, if you're sure. Lisa. Do you know a woman named Dahlia Gillespie? Oh yeah, that crazy Gillespie lady. She's kind of famous around here. She never sees anybody, so I don't know that much about her. But I heard her kid died in a fire, and supposedly she's been crazy ever since. Well, she says the town is being devoured by the darkness. Do you have any idea what she's talking about? The town devoured by the darkness. Yes, I think I do. Before this place was turned into a resort, the townspeople here were on the quiet side. Everybody followed some kind of queer religion, weird occult stuff. black magic, that kind of thing. As young people move away, the people figured they've been summoned by the gods. Evidently, things like that used to happen around here all the time. Before the resort, there wasn't really anything else out here. Everyone was so flipped out. Got to blame it on something. And a lot of new people came in and everybody clammed up about it. A cop. Last time I heard anything about it was, gosh, years ago, when several people connected with developing the town died in accidents. People said it was a curse. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'll shut up. The reverberation of Lisa's "I'll shut up" remained in my ears. I wonder how long had I been asleep. I found myself in that antique shop again, lying face down in the same position I was in just a short while ago. Was that another dream? Did I pass out again? I don't want to think so, but maybe this is all just going on in my head. I could have had a car accident and now I am lying unconscious in a hospital bed. I don't know what's real anymore. Me too. Cybil said Cheryl was heading towards the lake, but the road to the lake is blocked. Aren't there any other roads? Lisa would probably know. Although I am limited in what I can do, I still have one piece of information for finding Cheryl. So I cannot just remain here. I energetically stand up, open the door of the antique shop and rush back into the town. Oh, it's night. The town has turned into that nightmarish world. It's as if the danger in this town increases with every second. In order to find Lisa, I turned on the flashlight on my chest and began to run at full speed. I left the antique shop with the intention of reuniting with Lisa, but I discovered that all the roads leading to the hospital are blocked. With no other choice, I entered the shopping mall town center in the shopping district. Inside, everything has naturally changed to the other world as well. I can hear the groans of monsters in the vicinity, and it would not be surprising if they attack at any moment. The floor has changed into two metal grating, and this building looks as if it has left in ruins for several hundred years. Large monitors have been placed in the hall at the entrance to greet shoppers. After wandering around the first floor and finding nothing interesting, I begin heading up the powered down escalator. And at that moment, suddenly light overflows from out of the monitors in the hall. A bound Cheryl is displayed on the screen. Whoa! Daddy, help me! Cheryl! I turn around and run back down the escalator towards the first floor hall. The image of Cheryl on the monitors then begins to get more and more fuzzy until it dissolves into video static on the picture tube. And then in place of Cheryl, an eerie crest is displayed. It looked a lot like that which I saw in the courtyard of the elementary school. I pound on the monitors. I pound with all my strength as if I believe that Cheryl is wrapped inside the picture tube. However, Cheryl's image did not appear again. What? I am convinced. Cheryl was definitely taken away by someone and is being held by them, and she is waiting for me to rescue her. I must hurry, I say to myself. Alright. Is it first floor or second floor? I think we should go to the second floor. The second floor is more brutal than first and is completely deserted. However, I am paying attention. I can hear a sound like a liquid substance splashing from somewhere. I can sense that something there is not human is there. I turned toward the direction of the noise and began to run. And then I discovered the source of the noise. As soon as I stepped there, The section of the floor that I was standing on gives way and falls with me on top of it. I scream almost right away. Although I just fell one floor, strangely enough, I am not hurt. The floor of somewhat white room is sandy, and it is almost most certainly what cushioned my fall. Oh. I pick up the rifle at my feet and try readying it. Wait, there's a rifle near me? As I do so, an unspeakably unpleasant tremor comes from below me and it shakes my entire body. It is not something that I can see. I decide this because I felt it only from below me. I can clearly tell that something with a long body like a caterpillar is moving around below me. As I move, it moves in the same direction. So it is obvious that it is aiming for me as it moves. And then it shows itself. Oh, what the? It is a giant caterpillar about 5 meters long. Dang. It sprays a green liquid from its fierce, tusk-covered mouth. I can tell that the liquid is poisonous just from looking at it. And that is definitely being discharged towards me. Shoot it! I did not dodge it in time, so some of that liquid got on my arm. The pain is short. Red is rising up where the poisonous liquid got on me, as it is dissolving the components of my skin. Ew. Damn. Run. Can I run? Bro, it's not working. Wait, let me save you. Can I save you? Okay. Well, I did run. So, what happens now? Maybe I should fire the rifle, but then I don't think I could make it because, you know. So what happens now? Move on to the steel plate. Stay where I am. Oh, okay. Move to the steel plate. After moving on to the steel plate, I discovered one problem with doing so. I can no longer tell where it is coming from. I can only go with my intuition. Just where it is going to appear from. I gamble. Behind, front, side. Yeah, steel plate. Behind? I listen carefully. I wagered that it is coming from behind. Nice. I spin around and fire the rifle. It had just appeared there and my first shot went right through its head. It exploded like a piece of fruit exploding, and liquid with a revolting color and horrible smell began to flow around it. I pursue it as it begins to try and escape back into the ground, firing the rifle on this deserted floor of the town center. Nice. I leave the town center. Perhaps the caterpillar from before was blocking my path to the hospital, as my route, which had been blocked until just before, was now restored. The entire town seems like the inside of an enormous living thing. If a part of it is treated, then a part of it is destroyed. If a part of it disappears, then a part of it appears. I get the feeling that I am wandering about within a living organism that has become a labyrinth. I opened the gate to the hospital and then energetically opened the door of the examination room. Inside, Lisa was waiting for me. Hi, Lisa. Harry! She changes from looking completely exhausted and rushes over to me in an innocent, childlike way. Glad you're okay. Thank God you came back. I was scared to be here all alone. I'm here now. I was worried too. I'm real happy to see you. I lightly hug Lisa and gently draw away. I then speak while looking into her eyes. Lisa, can you tell me how to get to the lake? The lake? You take Bahman Road. Bahman Road. The road's blocked. I recall what Cybil told me. Well, that's the only way out there. Are you sure? There's gotta be another way. Lisa places her hand on her chin and thinks for a bit. Then her eyes open wide as if she has realized something. Wait, I just realized something. I just remembered something. What? There's a water works over by my old elementary school. It's been abandoned for years. There's an underground tunnel out there used for inspection or something. I remember hearing it runs all the way to the lake. Really? You think I can get to the lake from there? I've never been down in there myself, so I'm not positive. Besides, it's all fenced off to keep people out. If there's a chance, I've got to try. Lisa embraces me again just as I think that her face is beginning to look tearful. Harry, don't go. I don't want to be alone. It's so scary, I can't stand it. This one room in an empty hospital, in this state in which monsters could kick in the door and enter at any time. She has no weapons with which to defend herself with. So her being gripped with fear is only natural. What should I do? Take her with me. Take Lisa with me. I speak. How about coming with me? This may not be the safest place in the world either. I can't promise you anything, but I'll do my best to protect you. No, somehow I feel I'm not supposed to leave this place. Oh Harry, I'm so scared. I'm cold. I waver. Is it okay for me to leave Lisa alone? But then what will happen to Cheryl? Cheryl has only me to depend on. My concern for Cheryl cannot be compared with my concern for Lisa. After all, she is my daughter. Look, just wait here a little longer. I'll be back as soon as I find my daughter. Perhaps those words rang cold for Lisa, but there is nothing that can be done. I must save my daughter. Harry. She is definitely disappointed in me. I leave the hospital. The water supply installation near the elementary school. I was told that I could go through those sewers and reach the lake that Cheryl was heading toward. I must hurry. As I began to run, I felt something fly over my head. It looks like something is flying in circle in the sky above me, but it is dark, so I cannot see it so well. I climbed the metal stairs of the building across the street and then head up to the roof. What? Is that a moth? So big. What is this? A giant moth, yeah. You see, confirm. I write this game. I created this game. I'm kidding. I guess I didn't completely kill it. That caterpillar that I shot at the town center has followed me here. Bapak besar. So big. And it has matured. It dances against the black sky and is looking down on me. In addition to the poison that it can discharge from its mouth, it now has a stinger with which to stick me with. I'm in danger. Okay, fire the rifle while avoiding it or hide in the shadows of the building. It's a moth. It likes, right? So hide in the shadows of the building. I hid behind the water tower, and from the slight opening I observed the gigantic monster. A monster that circles the sky in an attempt to catch me. Using the water tower as a shield, I study its movement and at the same time look for a vital point. its head with those poisonous tusks, its abdomen, which contains a large amount of poisonous liquid, its wings, which it can freely control. Calm down, I told myself. I must focus on only one target. I think wings or abdomen, because abdomen contains all the poisonous thingy. Definitely not head. Either wings or abdomens. If we shot the wings, it at least, fall down. Abdomen, just try abdomen. While dodging it, I point the barrel of the gun at the soft area below its chest. It adeptly used its large wings to pursue me, but eventually its strength runs out and it falls between two buildings. Nice. Green liquid leaks from its insides and its screams echo throughout the town. Damn. The nightmare still continues. After passing through the sewers connected to the water supply installation near the elementary school, I came out in the most popular part of Silent Hill, the lakeside tourist spot. However, in spite of this, there is no reason to expect anyone to be here. The area is wrapped in darkness and in a condition in which it would be impossible to even walk around without a flashlight. First, I decided to enter Annie's bar, which lies on the road to the lake. As I approached the door, I noticed what sounds like a struggle coming from the other side. Oh. When I opened the door inside, Kaufman is there. Dr. Michael Kaufman. That is certainly what he said his name was. The monster has him cornered. His back is against the far wall of the bar and he is out of breath. He did not notice me come into the bar and looked as if he had lost all hope. I shot the thing. I pointed my gun at the monster and fired. Even after the monster had died, with a cry like a metallic twisting, Kaufman just stared into the air, looking completely worn out. Michael Kaufman. Kinda look like James Sunderland. Are you okay? As I spoke to him, he weakly stood up, brushed his pants twice, then slowly looked toward me. Yeah, I guess so. But I'm beat. I thought I was a goner there. So how did it go? Did you find a way out? No, not yet. How about you? Zip. But it's too soon to give up. This craziness can't go on forever. A military rescue squad should be here anytime now. If they come through the town, we're home free. He looked at the darkness outside the window and clenched his fist. I hope so. I say, I better get going. This isn't the time to stand around flapping out gums. He fixed his collar and then began to walk to the door. He walked as if he were incredibly hungry, and when he reached the door, I asked him the question that had been on my mind for quite some time. Kaufman. Oh, should I show him the picture or should I ask him about Elisa? I'm afraid if I show the picture, he ran away. So I think I'm gonna ask him about Elisa. Do you know a girl called Elisa? His hand, which he had placed on the doorknob, paused for a moment. And then he looked back at me. No. Kaufman quickly looked back at the door and left as if he were running away. Can I chase after him? Dr. Michael Kaufman. He definitely has some secrets. For real. Real, my brother. Well, I am not sure whether it is connected to me rescuing Cheryl or not. He knows the main reason why this town has undergone a transformation. I followed him so that he did not notice me. Yes. Please. He races through the dark alleys. Perhaps it is because he is familiar with the geography here. The sound of the harsh wind blowing down from the mountain as it cuts through the eaves of the buildings hide my footsteps and my presence. I continued to carefully tail him, making sure not to lose sight of him. Finally, his small figure opened the door of the certain building and he disappeared inside. He went into a motel, but not into one of the guest rooms. The door he went through is one that is off limits to outsiders and only for use by employees. Huh. I press down on my heart, which feels like it is going to explode. With my left hand, open the door that Kaufman just used and head inside. Inside, ancient dust is everywhere and the room reeks of mildew. It looks to be a garage. Oil, a sprayer, tires, and such have been placed on a dirty metal shelf. Odd. Kaufman is nowhere to be found. There is only one other door in the room and it is slightly open. He must have went through there into another room. However, I did not go after him right away. Instead, my attention turned to the motorcycle near the wall and I stopped. The gas tank of the motorcycle differs from the rest of motorcycle as it is oddly clean and shiny. The motorcycle is so covered in dust that it is not possible to even distinguish what color it is. But I get the feeling that the gas tank area alone has been filled by someone. I try gently opening the gas tank. Inside the gas tank, there is a black vinyl bag that is protecting a small glass bottle. At the moment I was about to reach out to it, a familiar voice stopped me. Kaufman, give me that. When I turned, Kaufman was just glaring at me, his face white with anger. His clenched fists are shaking with rage. What is this? That's none of your business. Instead of messing with that, how about coming up with a way to get out of here? You shouldn't be hanging around here goofing off. What do you think you are doing? You want to get yourself killed? Get out of here. Even if he had not said that, I understood. I didn't know just how important this small bottle was to him, but I didn't think that it would help me to find Cheryl. So I gave it to him. Okay, take it easy. Unless you want to die, keep your mind on business. Got it? Saying that, Kaufman adds calm and leaves the garage. I think that guy's got to be involved with the local drug racket. Man, was he pissed. And it's such a rush too. That was probably dope in the bottle. Anyway, better let him do as he pleases. There's more than my life at stake. True. I then realized that I am wasting time and immediately leave the hotel. I check the map and then head to the greatest part of this sightseeing area, the lakeside. My visible breath brushes by my cheeks, drifting in the air as if to mark my trail, and then finally becoming one with the air around it. And then the area gradually began turning into that nightmarish world. I abruptly come to stop. This time, the change is not instant like before. This town, this world, seems like it is being dumped into a demon's body. And I am filled with a feeling that there is no going back. Something has changed, in a way that cannot be undone. There is a road before me, so I run along on it. That is all I can do. Is there any hope? Is Cheryl alive? In this situation in which I cannot be sure of anything, I frequently have to fight off the urge to get sick. However, I believe that I will find something if I continue forward on this road. I ran across a pier, and without thinking about it, I wrenched the door off A small boat stopped midway along the pier open and then rushed inside it. Cybil? There was already a passenger inside the boat. Cybil! Harry! Our voices revealed that we were both relieved. How did you get back here? I followed the sewer. Were you the one who cut the fence? Yeah. I'm glad you made it. I was worried about you. You were worried? Where did you disappear to? Never mind. I want to know what's going on here. What is with this town? I condensed all the things that had happened to me into one somewhat unclear conclusion. I looked at Cybil and began to speak. This may sound really off the wall, but listen to me. You've got to believe me. I haven't gone crazy and I'm not fooling around. At first I thought I was losing my mind, but now I know I'm not. It's not me. This whole town is being invaded by the other world, by a world of someone's nightmarish delusions come to life. Little by little the invasion is spreading, trying to swallow up everything in darkness. I think I'm finally beginning to understand what that lady was talking about. Harry, hold on a minute. I don't get it. Look, I don't understand it all myself. I guess I can't explain it. I honestly revealed how I felt. Well, what's making this happen? I don't know that either. But I do know Cheryl is there. There? Under whoever created this darkness, Cheryl is somewhere. And she needs my help. Once I finished explaining everything, Cybil faintly smiled and looked at me as if she was worried. Harry, this whole thing's been a major blow to you. You need to rest. I was let down. This world, its state, and the reason it became like this. I understood and what I wanted Cybil to understand as well. Even though I am a writer, I am cursed by a limited vocabulary. This is something that upsets me about myself. Cybil, as I was speaking, the door slowly opened and I could see someone enter the room. It was not a monster, but a human. The demon is awakening! Dahlia, spreading those wings. Dahlia Gillespie. Was it not as I said? I see it all now. Yes, everything. Hungry for sacrifice, the demon will swallow up the land. I knew this day would come. And what's more, the task is almost finished. Oh, there's only 2 left. To seal this down to the abyss, the mark of the Samael. When it is completed, all is lost. Even in daytime, darkness will cover the sun. The dead will walk, and martyrs will burn in the fires of hell. Everyone will die. So what am I supposed to do? I've got to save Cheryl. It is simple. Stop the demon. The demon that taking that child's form. Stop it before your daughter becomes a sacrifice. Before it is too late. Stop it. Stop it. What do I do? Go to the lighthouse on the lake and to the center of the amusement park. Make haste. You are the only hope. Look, Harry, I really don't get what's going on. But if there's a chance we can save your daughter, I'm in. I'll check out the amusement park. You go to the lighthouse. Cybil. Okay, I'll go to the lighthouse. I think, yeah. Cybil, thanks. Gripping her handgun, Cybil left the boat and disappeared into the darkness. Ooh, you will need to use it. Use what? The flowers. Only with that can you stop it. Wait, the flowers. I checked inside my pockets. That was hidden object. However, does Cybil have such an object as well? No, that is not likely. If she did, then she probably would have been able to understand my story a little better. What about Cybil? I considered chasing after Cybil. However, my true goal is rescuing my daughter. And Cybil with the same goal is risking her life as she heads to the amusement park. I think I should believe in Cybil. No, maybe it is merely my selfishness telling myself that. However, my destination is the lighthouse that is not far from here. To run there is my mission and my feat. I entered the lighthouse then and then ascended a spiral staircase to arrive at the roof. And then I could not believe my eyes. The giant crest is present on the floor I am standing on, the roof of the lighthouse. Ooh. The mark of Samael. That is what Dahlia called it. She said I must not let it be completed. That this town is gradually being eroded away by this crest. Elisa was standing there. She looked as if she had just now completed making the mark there. Oh, here. Not there. Here. And she just looked at me without any change in her expression. Wait, is she the demon? For the first time, we just faced each other, each of us understanding each other to a certain degree. Just as I thought that her eyes showed a little sadness, she turned around and suddenly disappeared, as if she had jumped from this tall lighthouse. Ooh, what's the connection here? Elisa, wait! I've got a bad feeling I'll head back to the boat or rush to the vicinity where Elisa disappeared from. Rush to the vicinity where Elisa disappeared from. Wait, please talk to me. I rushed to the area where Elisa was standing. However, there was no trace of her at all. The cold wind blew and ruffled my bangs. I just stood there, emotionless. I can see something. Through the overlapping layers of fog, I can see something that looks like a pale light. Elisa, I said without thinking about it. I had a feeling that I could see Elisa through a distortion in the space there. Elisa. Should I bravely jump in, or should on the second thought I better turn back? Because my mission was not to save her. My mission was to save my daughter and to stop this demon. But the thing is she the demon here? So, should I bravely jump in? Wait, let me just save here. Just to be safe lah. On second thought, I better turn back. This is so hard. Now I'm gonna listen to that Dahlia. They call Dahlia crazy, right? Yeah. On second thought, I better turn back. Wait, I held myself back. I have a bad feeling about this. I think about Cheryl and then I cannot take any dangerous chances. And the safety of Cybil, who is working with me to look for Cheryl, concerns me as well. I better turn back. True. In order to return to the boat from just before, I retraced my steps from the lighthouse. The small boat stopped midway along the pier. Perhaps Cybil has returned, and with that expectation in mind, I opened the door leading to the inside of the boat. But no one's there. Cybil is not there. Maybe she is still on her way to the amusement park. Or maybe she has already arrived there. Or maybe something has happened to her. Within the current guessing that raced by like a revolving lantern, I ran toward the amusement park. Alright, that is as far as my memory goes. Anything beyond that is vague, and to give an account of it, I would have to make things up. However, I do not wish to include any fabrication in this story. That is my true intention. In this case, truth is stranger than fiction. But if I said that it was the truth, then I doubt anyone would believe me. I carefully read over the manuscript again. I could never even think about forgetting the detestable events of 7 years ago. Even now my body quivers. And because of this, when the request came in, at first I considered refusing, but because the contents were too similar to the worldview. However, the person in charge pushed me into it. Perhaps it is an overstatement to call this a diary. It is not exactly my memoirs either. I just described those events within the range of my personal taste. There was no commercial greediness, and I never had the ambition of having the story known by everyone. It is merely a word of self-satisfaction. After looking over the manuscript again, I let out a long sigh and neatly pushed the stack of papers together and placed them in the envelope I had prepared. I licked the seal of the envelope and then tightly sealed it. Okay, let's continue. The act of properly sealing the envelope with such feeling seemed like a certain kind of ceremony. Daddy! Wait, is that only a story? I turn around and Cheryl is standing there pouting. Sorry. I have just finished. Sorry to have kept you waiting. Cheryl smiled, returned to her room downstairs and pulled several of her best outfits out of a wardrobe. Tomorrow is the deadline. If I mail it tonight by express mail, it should arrive at the proofreader in time. I'll just be a little longer. I said that to her in front of her room and then placed my hand on the front door. What is this plot twist? The phone rings. Who is it? It might be urgent, but Cheryl will probably get it. Or it's probably the publishing company, they're so impatient. I think so. I'm gonna go with B. I reluctantly turn and run to the phone. At this hour, the only person I could imagine calling would be someone from the publishing company. Hello? The telephone is silent. Perhaps it's a prank call? Hello? If you have nothing to say, then I am going to hang up. I have no interest in dealing with a prank call. At the moment I was about to hang up the receiver, the unseen caller finally spoke. Hello. My hand holding the receiver trembles. That voice is... There is no doubt. The receiver fell to the floor, but I did not notice. 7 years ago. The town clouded with fog. The school stained with the smell of mildew. The empty teacher's room. On the table. The fragments of my memory come together in my head like a jigsaw puzzle. There is no doubt that... I rushed up to the stairs. Cheryl! Cheryl had completed getting ready and was sitting quietly on a three-legged wooden chair. What's wrong, Daddy? I'm sorry, but something urgent has come up. It doesn't look like we will be able to go to the amusement park. I will have to leave you here alone, but will you be okay? The expression that I expected appeared on Cheryl's face. Hey, you promised. I'm sorry. I have to go right away. Suddenly, a different memory rose up in my mind. The town with a lake. The pier in the darkness. The lighthouse at its end. The man who saved me. And then, definitely next to... Cheryl, I've changed my mind. Why don't you come with me? Where to? This time I spoke with confidence. Silent Hill. Whoa! Wait, is this a throwback? Or is it like retelling what he's been dealing with at the Silent Hill to find Cheryl? Then this is the present time. Whoa, I don't know. Yes, the lighthouse in Silent Hill. We're going to help someone that is in trouble there. Oh! So it means that I escaped that nightmare and I helped someone there. Wait, is that why I heard that Silent Hill, the third Silent Hill 3 is connected to the first Silent Hill? Is that it? Is that it? Is that it? I took my amazed daughter's hand in mine and we bolted out of the house. Ooh, so we have a happy ending and also an ominous one at the same time. Because we don't know who's we're helping. Is it Cybil? Is it Dahlia? Is it Michael Kaufman? But I don't think it's Michael. Is it Lisa? Lisa Garland? Because I remember her name. I think Lisa Garland is the character that appears in the third Silent Hill too. All these questions. Please. Please, please. So, that was interesting. To be honest, I want to play Cybil's part again, but with a different, different options to choose. Because the last time I played, she died. And Harry was there. I think Harry killed her, shot her with her gun. But who's Gyromancy? I remember Gyromancy. The hell? That was fun. And long. Compared to the first one. The first try I played this game. I think that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'm gonna make another video on Silent Hill. Gonna try play as Cybil again, and yeah, stay safe, take it easy, and goodbye. Bye bye.